Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Discipled Men and Women of Wisdom Bible Institute, where we study the pure, unadulterated gospel of Jesus Christ every day, just for you. We have several ways for you to join. You can join us here on Facebook during the introductory period of any course at The Journey, the study of 1st and 2nd Corinthians is where we are now. A journey, the study of 1st and 2nd Corinthians. You can get in on the studies, materials, me as your personal instructor right now before the book goes out. So you can do that at A Journey, the study of 1st and 2nd Corinthians. You can also join us after you purchase a book. You can join us on YouTube at the DMWW Journey. So any classes that you have missed that we have done so far, we do them in Facebook as the introductory period. Then you can join anytime on YouTube at the DMWW Journey. Right now, you can get any of our classes from Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Proverbs, Romans, and when we are finished with this one, we will be adding also to YouTube, so you can get any of those classes there. You can also join us if you just want to listen in on Sunday mornings. We are on the Daily Gospel Network. When you go onto the Daily Gospel Network, choose DGN+. All right. Let's dig in. This past week, we studied 1st and 2nd Corinthians chapters 5 through 8 with our classes. I like to begin my classes with an overview to give my students an idea of what you will be studying before we start the week. Monday through Friday of last week, we studied chapters 5 through 8. So I will share with you all a brief synopsis of what these chapters were about. Then we will go over about 10 to 15 vocabulary words and begin our weekly review to highlight some of the things we studied in class. In chapter 5, Paul is speaking to churches in Corinth concerning fornication after he heard this was being done among the saints. He specifically mentioned a man having his father's wife. He also mentions that he was not only speaking of shunning people who commit fornication in this instant, but also the covetous, extortioners, and idolaters. He gave an example of unleavened bread or leavened bread, saying a little leaven makes the whole lump the same. In chapter 6, he warned us against taking a brother or sister we have disagreements with before the law or to court. He teaches us that to do that in front of unbelievers is wrong. He said we should settle matters amongst ourselves. He reminds us that in the end we will judge the world and even the angels. So we should be able to handle these things on our own as Christians. In chapter 7, Paul is answering questions that the churches had been writing and asking him about. They wanted to know if it was okay for a man to touch or be with a woman. And when he talks about touch or be with, he's talking about in a sexual way. His answer was that every man should have his own wife and every woman should have her own husband in order to avoid fornication. Chapter 8 teaches us that eating food that others may feel is a sin to eat because it is sacrificed to idol gods is not really a sin to those who have the knowledge of the fact that there is only one true God. However, we must be careful not to judge their belief nor cause them to stumble by eating those things in front of them if it will cause them to lose their faith. What each man does is unto the Lord, and not to be used in a way that would cause his brother to stumble. Eating or not eating is equal in God's eyes. One is no better than the other. All right, so let's get started. That's a basic overview of chapters 5 through 8. We are going to begin with our vocabulary for chapters 5 through 8. And I have Sister Selena and Brother Jeremiah with me today to help us with our lesson. Number 1 is defame. D-E-F-A-M-E. Defame.
To speak evil of.
Very good. To speak evil of. Number 2 is entreat. I-N-T-R-E-A-T. Entreat.
To beseech, implore, beg.
All right. Number 3, offscouring. O-F-F-S-C-O-U-R-I-N-G. Offscouring.
In, out, tossed.
Help her with that.
An outcast.
An outcast.
Very good. An outcast. The next word is craftiness. C-R-A-F-T-I-N-E-S-S. Craftiness.
To be cunning, deceitful, or sly.
Very good. To be cunning, deceitful, or sly. The next word, spectacle. S-P-E-C-T-A-C-L-E. Spectacle.
Theater. Place where exhibitions were held.
Very good. In old times, a spectacle is what they called a theater. It's where people went to hold exhibitions or go to exhibitions. Very good. Number 6, whithersoever. You'll see this word more in the Bible. It's not a word that's used a lot in today's speech, so we want to go over that word. Whithersoever. W-H-I-T-H-E-R-S-O-E-V-E-R. Whithersoever.
Oh, wherever.
Very good. That means wherever. When you see the word whithersoever in the Bible, when you're reading, they're just saying wherever. Okay. Number 7, divers. D-I-V-E-R-S. Divers.
Of varying types.
Very good. This means of varying types. You may hear in the Bible where they talk about diverse tongues, it's different languages. So diverse is just a lot of different types of something. Okay. Number 8, self-same. S-E-L-F-S-A-M-E. Self-same.
The same.
Very good. That just means the same. When you see that word, it just means the same. Number 9, feeble. F-E-E-B-L-E. Feeble.
Lacking physical strength.
Very good. Lacking physical strength. If you may hear of an older person being feeble, or someone who just got out of the hospital being feeble. That means they're lacking physical strength. It's hard for them to get around and use their muscles and limbs, have the activity of their limbs. Number 10, comely. C-O-M-E-L-Y. Comely.
Good appearance, suitability.
Very good. Good appearance, suitability. And we had a memory verse this week. Who can tell me what our memory verse was?
I say, therefore, to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn. 1 Corinthians 7 verse 8 and 9.
Very good. Found 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 8 and 9. So we know that Paul was not married, and he felt that when he needed to do something for the Lord, he could pay attention. All of his attention was able to be given to his instructions from the Lord and to go out and preach, teach, whatever the Lord was telling him to do, because he didn't have his attention distracted. And he was saying that it's better, though, if you would be like that. But if you can't contain, that means like if you can't keep yourself pure and untouched, as we talked about earlier, it's better to go ahead and marry a person like you may be dating and going out and all of that. And if you're going to decide that you're going to go to the hotel and lay up, or go and do things that you know you shouldn't be doing, and then going back and trying to do God's work, that's being a hypocrite. So it's worse to do that than to go ahead and get married. If you're with someone that you know you love them and they love you, it's best to go ahead and get married than to be what they're calling here fornication or committing adultery. And when he says it's better to marry than to burn means be in lust, or wanting to have sex and doing things that you know that you shouldn't be doing. All right? That was our memory verse. And that section, the vocabulary section of our weekly review, is worth 200 points. Those of you who are following along, or if you will join us later, go ahead and put your information in the comment section. And if you answer all of your vocabulary, it will be worth 200 points in the grade book for you all who are enrolled. Okay, the next section that we do is name that chapter. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of something that happened in our classes last week, like we did in the overview. And then at the end of the week, we do our weekly review, and the students are able to go back and tell me what chapter the information was found in. Synopsis number 1. In this chapter, we learned that Paul instructed the men to stay with their wives if the wives were pleased to stay, even if they were unbelievers. He said the believing husband sanctifies the wife. Also the same for the wife who is a believer. The husband would be sanctified by the wife. He also said that if any man or wife who is not a believer walks away from the marriage, the believer is no longer bound to them. So if you're in a marriage and the unbeliever divorces you, you're no longer bound to them. If you walk away from the marriage, you're not to remarry. Okay. What chapter did we find this information in?
Chapter 7.
Very good. Say it a little louder, Selena.
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7. Awesome. Moving on to synopsis 2. In this chapter, Paul taught us how keeping company with fornicators is like having leavened bread. You can't be different together. A little leaven makes the whole loaf leaven. He was not only speaking of putting away people who commit fornication, but he also mentioned the covetous, extortioners, idolaters, etc. What chapter did we find this information in?
Chapter 5.
Very good. That was found in chapter 5. Synopsis number 3. In this chapter, we learned that since there is only one true God, eating food that has been sanctified to idol gods is not a sin. However, we are not supposed to be a stumbling block to those who are weak and do not have the knowledge of the fact that there is only one true God. We are not to judge their belief nor cause them to stumble by eating those things in front of them, if it will cause them to lose the faith. What chapter did we find this in?
Chapter 8.
Very good. We found that in chapter 8. Synopsis number 4. Paul warned us against taking a brother or sister we have disagreements with before the law or to court. He teaches us that to do that in front of unbelievers is wrong. He said we should settle matters amongst ourselves. He reminds us that in the end we will judge the world and even the angels. What chapter did we find this information in?
Chapter 6.
Very good. We found that in chapter 6. This portion of our weekly review will be worth 200 points. When you are entering information here for participation, make sure that you put the chapter that we found the information in. Moving on to true or false, I want you to tell me whether the statement that I make is true or false. You can just put true or false in the blank and evidence your answer by telling me where you found the information that tells you that it's true or false. If it is false, I want you to put the correct statement as well. Okay? The first statement is, Paul called the people puffed up because they wanted to do away with the people that have been fornicating. Is that true or false?
False.
False. And what made that false? Where did you find it, the evidence that made it false? And tell me the true statement.
I found it in 1 Corinthians 5, verse 2 and 11.
Very good.
And it says, And ye are puffed up, and have not rather mourned, and he that hath done this deed might be taken away from you. But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, a covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, with such in one know not to eat.
Very good. All right. Our next statement is, someone who is joined to a harlot is one body, for the two shall be one flesh. Is that true or false?
It is true.
It is true. And where can you evidence that answer?
1 Corinthians 6, verse 16.
Very good. Statement number 3. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. Is that true or false?
True.
Very good, that is true. And where can you evidence that answer?
1 Corinthians, number 7. I'm confused.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and what verse?
7, verse 7, 34.
7 and 34. Very good. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 34. All right, this portion of our lesson is worth 200 points as well. Make sure that when you are evidencing your answer, if your answer is false, you put the true statement, okay? So when you evidence your answer, you go and you find in the Bible where in the blanks, I'm going to give you a statement and you are going to give me the missing words and make the full statement at the end. If you are putting in answers in the blank space, just give me the 3 or 4 words that are missing to be full credit, okay? The first statement here, but if any blank loves blank, the same is blank of him. What are the 3 missing words in this statement?
Man, God, known.
Very good. Man, God, and known. And what's the full statement?
But if any man loves God, the same is known of him.
Very good.
This is found in 1 Corinthians 8, verse 3.
Very good. Moving on to number 9. The statement is, your blank is not blank. Know ye not that a little blank leaveneth the whole lump? What are the 3 missing words here?
Glorying, good, and living.
leaven. Yeah.
And your glory is not good, knowing yet not that a little leaven the whole lump.
Very good.
You can find this at 1 Corinthians 5 and 6.
Good job. All right. Our last statement and question for the weekly review today is, but he that is blank unto the blank is one blank. What are the three missing words in that statement?
Joined, Lord, and Spirit.
Very good. What's the full statement there?
But he that is joined unto the Lord is one Spirit. That is found in 1 Corinthians 6, verse 17.
Very good. Awesome job this week, students.
Thank you.
That is also worth 200 points, so if you're entering your information, and I will accept information from the students or the administrators for your classes until midnight. If you didn't get in time for the class, you just missed the 100 points for signing in, but you will still get the points for you and your class up until midnight. I want to thank you all for joining us today. May God add a blessing to the readers, hearers, and doers of His Word. Y'all want to help me? Tell everybody, bless everybody. We like to bless. Our words either bless or curse people. So we like to say positive things to each other in this class. And every time we have a class, we want to bless you. And so we're going out today saying, blessed learning be unto you. God bless.